So is Cary worth moving to in 2025? That is the question that we're going to be investigating today, and I'm going to be doing a little bit different format. I'm going to specifically be walking through my process as if I would be working with the buyer. And so really, we're going to get after some of the information that answer that, but also show you some of the process that you could use, whether it be Cary or another neighborhood, another city that you want to move to. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that I typically like to do here is look at the general stats, assuming that we've already identified, hey, we're interested in Cary. This is Fast Stats. It used to be publicly available. I don't think you could access it anymore without MLS, multiple listing services. More or less, the Realtor Association tracks all of the recorded sales by city, and they compile that into some basic facts known as the Fast Stats. What we're going to be looking for here is setting the standard for what an average price home in Cary is going to cost you. Now, this is Cary, Apex, Mooresville. They lumped those together. It's probably just the size of the market, but right here, median sales price, we care a lot about that. So this is the year to date. So January all the way up until December, that's the median sales. And then for the month of November, so this is always a month behind, by the way, because I'm recording this in December. The reason I do that, again, is it's non-speculative. Like you look at the Zestimate on Zillow.com, that is an algorithm giving you a speculative estimate of the home. They don't deal with that for the MLS. Pure facts, things that did sell. So last month we had 565,000 as the median sale price with a year to date of 598. So this is to be expected in December. Depending on when you're watching this, just know that there's an off season and a hot season. So spring and summer is when the vast majority of the sales occur. That's when the market is really hot. And then fall and winter, but especially winter, that's when things slow down. So you could use that to your advantage if you want to find a better deal on a home. Just know there's probably going to be less inventory. And the next thing we're going to be looking at is the average sales price. Now first to clarify, for those that might be confused about what's the difference between the median and the average sales price, the median sales price, if you were to take 100 homes, the 50th home, the price of that is what this is. So it's exactly meaning that half of the homes that were sold, they were at this price or lower, and then half of the homes were at that price or higher. Average sales price is helpful because it gives you a sense of the broader cost of the homes if you start factoring in things like luxury homes, which is why 666,000 is higher than the median sales price, because this is indicating to me that Cary has a lot of luxury homes, or at least has a lot of high price point homes, which I know this to be true just because I work in this market. Cary and Chapel Hill are going to be the highest two price points. And then just like before, year to date, 677, so you could see it's down a little bit. The last two things that I look at is the percent of the original list price received and the percent of list price received. A bit of a mouthful, but what this means is that most of the homes are closing 97.8% of the original listing price. So this is quite a bit of a difference, right? Because especially since COVID and shortly after COVID, a lot of the homes were receiving above asking offers. Now, this is an average, meaning that there are going to be high quality homes receiving above asking offers, but the vast majority of homes are actually selling for less than what the seller is listing it for. So the reason why I say percent of list price received as the second metric is this right here. The original price tells me that many sellers are having to drop the price of their home. So they're being a little overambitious on the price point, or maybe they're just going off of sold comps in the past, but the market's cooling off. People aren't offering nearly as competitively as they do during spring, summer, and back when we were in COVID. So after homes drop price point, typically they then sell. That's how you read those stats. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take this bit of information, and because if I was working with you as a specific buyer, we would have a price point established, but since we don't, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to find three. I'm going to find something that's below the median sales, roughly at the median sales, and then above. And I'm going to physically go to these properties to show the outside of them. I can't tour the inside without written permission from the seller, but that way you have a sense of at least what does the place actually look like relative to the surroundings. So anyways, 565, so I head over here to Zillow. If you're working with a realtor, they could do the MLS. If you prefer Realtor.com, you could do that. But more or less what I'm going to do is just type in Cary, North Carolina. Boxes this around. These are homes that are for sale, home type. I want houses, townhomes, multifamilies, condos. Don't care about that. If you're a developer, cool. Or if you're trying to rent, then cool. So price range, what do we say? Median 565. We're going to put this at 550. All right. So this is why I do this, right? You immediately see the spread of homes. There's a higher concentration in East Cary of homes at the below median sales price range. And then over here on the west, there's a little bit as well. But notice how this entire center area and this little pocket down here does not have any of these. Now, that probably means that those are your higher price point homes. We'll see. All right, so most people at least want to see what the options are for normal houses, for detached houses. And then if there aren't any, then they go to townhomes and condos. So I unchecked those, looking around. Now, obviously, if you have a point of reference like a job, then you could use that also to help box you in. But I like showing a spread, so let's see what we could find that's in the 300s here. Not much. So 475, let's see what this one is, 420. So it's 3-bed, 2-bath. This is, yeah, these are all in the 500s. So this home's probably a little bit outdated, which presents you an opportunity to buy it and fix it up yourself. Just means it's not turnkey. So this is 425, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay, so very quickly, we're painting the picture of 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet. This one was not much bigger. Yeah, 1,400 square feet, around the 420, 425 price point. So let's just pick this one. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to go to this property to show you. Put this right here so that I know where it is. Cool, got it. Now for the next one, I'm going to bracket this in to the 550 to 650. The 650, apply that. All right, let's zoom back out. Okay, similar pattern, a little bit more sparse. Let's look at one as close to the median as possible. Split level, this is 475. So this is actually, we'll probably go look at this home. This is a great representation of what the average Cary home looks like. There we go, 575. 3.3, yeah, so 3.3, 1,800 to 24 seems to be the characteristics. 3.3, 24, yep. Okay, so let's copy this one. Look, see right there, price cut, which was as of October. So this has probably been sitting for a while, 84 days. You do want to look at this, by the way, because if you do see a nice home and it has like 1 day on market, tons of views, tons of saves, and it's in Cary, you probably need to get moving on that if you're a very serious buyer in the short term. Otherwise, you're just gonna get outbid, or somebody's gonna beat you to it rather. Okay, so put that there. All right, last home. Let's do any price above 650. Okay, we have way more homes available immediately, right? So this tells the story a little bit of the price points of Cary. You have some at 1.2 million, 5.5, 4,000. That's pretty big. 4.5, 3,100. Yeah, so your standard pick of luxury homes. So in this case, I don't want to find one that's under the million mark, like maybe this one, 875. 22 hours ago, 44 saves, 661 views. Yeah, I'd be setting up a showing for the. I mean, it's a little dated, that's for sure. I mean, it looks like they changed the hardware, but they kept. I'm assuming it was, a conscious decision to keep the original color palette of the home. Fireplace. You know what? Let's just do this one. 875. That's a respectable home. And then obviously, if you're interested in any of the luxury homes, those are typically case-by-case basis. I mean, you're gonna find comparable sales, but at that price point, you really wanna take your time, go one at a time. Don't overgeneralize, because luxury homes could just look luxury by design and then just be terrible materials. You never know until you go, so right, just stay more open-minded if you're above the $1 million price point. All right, so we have 3 homes, so it's time to get out there. I'm gonna bring my camera and show you the front of the home and just the surroundings, so you have a little bit of a sense of what does it actually look like on the ground. And then for those who obviously want to see in the homes, then just contact me and we would be able to set up an appointment. right, so we're back. The next thing I want to go over are the job opportunities here. So I've got LinkedIn pulled up, and I could just tell you what types of jobs are out there, but I'd rather just show you, right? It's pretty simple. So I'm going to do jobs based in Cary, North Carolina. I'm going to turn this down to 0, right? 78,000 plus results. I'm going to just keep all this as broad as possible. And we'll just scroll through, see what's out there, right? So Epic Games, they're a big play here. They're pretty much, as far as I'm aware of, the only video game company that's out here. You have engineering, senior accountants, so in the finance, just general management, writers, analysts, infrastructure. So this right here is extremely important right now because of how much the triangle is growing. So you'll see a lot of these types of jobs, right? So more Epic Games, and I'm sure the algorithm's catering some of this to me, right? But sales, compliance consultant, business development, data center, Verizon, more engineering. Let's check page 2. We're not going to go super deep into this. I'm just trying to paint some sort of an idea, because usually what I do is I just tell you like, hey, this is the general concepts. But if you're literally looking for a job, like you're going to be going through this process, right? Technical. I'm looking for some medical. Do you see any medical stuff? Again, I wonder if this is just completely tailored to me. Project manager, Google, right? That's huge. Let me just see if I could do this right here. Let me see if this works. Medical. Papa John's medical. Okay, so that did not do anything. Anyways, what I'm trying to point out, maybe what I need to do is just expand this a little bit, is the predominant industries here, oh, there it is, immediately, there it is, are gonna be medical, tech, small businesses, retail, government, construction, and education sector, so 7. Those are all very prominent industries. I would say that the triangle is known as a tech hub, but also medical, right? And obviously retail, obviously government, capital of the state. So pretty diverse job opportunities, and it has entry-level jobs all the way up to executive positions. But one thing worth noting, let's go back to this right here, to Zillow. Right here, Research Triangle Park. This is why it's so big to live in Cary, because Cary is one of the nicer neighborhoods, especially for families, right next to RTP. It's also right next to Raleigh, right? Convention center's right here, downtown's right there. You have one of the major universities right there, NC State. I don't know why I just didn't say NC State. Duke University's up here. So incredibly centrally located. You get the point with jobs. Just wanted to show you a little bit of what's actively live right now, and hopefully that helps. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the lifestyle. So with lifestyle, there are many things that I could show you. And when I went out to show the homes, you probably just saw suburbia, right? And so that doesn't really tell the full story. Now, let me just go even just on the Google Maps and just do a quick search of retail. Okay, so Cary's right there. Malls, big one, right? So this is generally going to be the retail hubs. Not generally, like they are the retail hubs, right? Park West Village, so Northwest Cary, Southern Cary, Southeastern Cary. Now there is Fenton. Cary has Fenton. Fenton matters, actually, I could have brought this up during housing. Not that, right here, Fenton. Fenton is an entire mixed use complex. And these are becoming super popular in the triangle. But Fenton was one of the first ones. And let's see if I could just get on the ground real fast. Which this is another trick that you could use. See, it's literally just retail with high density housing. Lots of artwork, restaurants. Yeah, so Fenton is one of the front runners for this concept. But for those who prefer a higher walking score, then you're going to want to look for places like Fenton. And a lot of these old shopping centers for lifestyle are really just the classic strip mall or just like a bigger mall, but they're trying to develop into more places like Fenton. So that's the key, right? Is you can look for these little hubs depending on when you're looking at moving here, or if you're trying to gauge for appreciation of the area. Okay, so here's something that you could do at home, anywhere you're going. Go to the city's website, go to projects and initiatives. Usually most cities have an interactive map that shows all of the development. So what's to come in Cary in 2025, right? Because I've showed you homes, job options, but what other stuff do you actually need to know so that you can anticipate not what's there now, but what will be there? Cary Community Plan. This is a ebook or a PDF, depending on how you want to download it. I'm going to go to Maps, Interactive Development Map. That's what we want. Now, I wish you could expand this on the screen, but you can't. But nonetheless, there's Cary. And the first thing you do is click on the legend, and we're gonna rule these ones out. In review, rezoning approved. These matter, but I'm looking more at what sort of commercial development's on its way. Capital improvements. So this is anything that's a brown is like, okay, there's a park or something that they're gonna improve. Let me just click on something. That's probably a repair. Intersection improvements. Okay, so for traffic purposes, know that this intersection and this road right here is probably going to be bus stop improvement. Yeah, they're going to be working on it. This whole little road, traffic calming. So these are all just, think of infrastructure and utilities. Well, I mean, I guess utilities is infrastructure, and like parks and stuff like that. Park repair and maintenance. Cool, okay. So this is what the city is planning on doing. Now next, these are active developments. So these are people that submitted for a permit and it was reviewed and then it was approved and now it's actively in construction. So these are the things that are closest to being complete in 2025. So clicking around just on the green things, like now you could download this as a spreadsheet, I believe. I'm just gonna stick to the map because I'm not gonna go through all this stuff, but I am showing you how you can do it yourself. So this is a subdivision, 25 single family detached dwellings. If you didn't know that was coming, well, now you do, right? You get ahead of the curve, do a little bit more proactive planning. Now, whether or not they're gonna be done, let's click on this. Maybe that tells us something we need to know. Retaining wall, okay. I'm not gonna start downloading all these, but what you could do is associate it to which company, or maybe look at some of their documents and you could find a number to call. Just call them and see what the progress is on any of that. So the vast majority of this is going to be just that. See, 42 units, townhomes, subdivision, green level trail. This is a subdivision again. Down here, WakeMed Cary Hospital vertical expansion. Hey, if you work in the health industry, they're expanding the hospital, right? So these are all of like the very like fine details that you could get to when you're really trying to decide whether or not it's a good idea to move here. Or even just, let's say you know you want to move here and you just don't know when, but you can afford to wait, right? Like that you could time it with getting a job, and if you secure a job and you know it's going to be in that area, then you could start to anchor your house search off of that. If you want to live in Cary, you can live anywhere you want. So I'm looking for some commercial shopping centers. Church parking lot, mixed use project. Okay, so this is a bank. Triangle Aquatic Center. Okay, so there's a park right here. This looks to be a bit more commercial and some recreation. Zoom out a little. This is the east side closest to Raleigh, so central east. Okay, retail center. So we have some retail there, we have some recreation there. Mixed use is the flats, street parking, or street parking deck rather. All right, I'll just cut it there. It looks like most of the commercial development is happening in this section right here. And then a lot of the residential development is really the remainder of Cary. I do believe there's something else that I remember coming across another time, sort of in the northwest area. That's a commercial development. I think it was like a retail store, a retail section, and I think there's a park somewhere in the center. So this right here is better than looking at actually let me just go back. Their community plan. Their community plan is the intent to develop until 2040. But if you're gonna go on here, you could download them. One little quick hack is you could just use ChatGPT, upload the PDFs and tell them to analyze the document and then let you know what the big developments are coming. And then they'll spit it out and then you could just buy specific development, look at the progress. Because the thing about this community plan is none of this matters until it's funded. And even if it's funded, it still has to be executed and inspected and all of that. So they're gonna say big things here, but if they don't get funding, then it doesn't really matter. Whereas going to the map shows you things that are in real time happening, right? So that's really all I wanted to share. Yeah, maybe I'll drive by some of the commercial spots and just put them as like sort of a B-roll, a montage right after this. So then circling back to the original question on whether or not Cary's worth moving to in 2025, really just comes down to it depends, right? The goal of me doing this video isn't necessarily to answer that definitively, but provide you the information so that you can actually answer that for yourself. You may be clicking around on Zillow and then not understand what it actually looks like on the ground. Although Cary's good. I'd be more concerned about a place like in East Raleigh, which is where I live. I love East Raleigh, but not for everybody. Some people see a fantastic home, they get on the ground and they're like, nope, not for me. But anyways, if you're interested in more content like this on other areas, then just let me know. With that, reach out if you have any questions. Dave Domingo from EXP, and I will see you next time.